And welcome you live here to the Brevard Sports Network, live from Clint Hurdle Field for the FHSA 4A4 regional semifinals between the 2-seeded Merritt Island Mustangs and the 6-seeded Belen Jesuit Wolverines. And again, welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. And as we're getting started here, the national anthem also getting started. We'll be right back. As the national anthem wraps up, and we welcome you here to Clint Hurdle Field once again for FHSAA 4A Region 4 semifinal action here from Merritt Island High School here on the Brevard Sports Network. I'm Jackson Robb. Alongside me tonight right now is Caleb Brown, and coming soon will be Alan Slaughter-Zinski once he wraps up with some volleyball action that he has started tonight already on the Brevard Sports Network. But here, it's time for second round playoff baseball here for Merritt Island. The Mustangs had a sweep in the opening round to get to this point, whereas Belen Jesuit, the 6th seed, took O'Galley, familiar name here in Brevard County, to 3 games and picked up the 6-3 upset in 3 games in an extra innings 1-0 win in Game 3 for Belen Jesuit that got them to this point after dropping Game 1 of their series against O'Galley. They won the next 2. As we have Game 1 of this series coming up again, the new rules here in FHSA in the playoffs, the first year in which we have playoff series, best 2 out of 3 for the first time in the state of Florida, to my knowledge, for any sport. And as you're seeing that here in baseball, and it's been fun so far. I'll tell you what, we saw, unfortunately, both teams falling, but we've seen a few Game 3s. O'Galley having a Game 3, Satellite against Key West going to a Game 3, and you know what, the first 2 games, I mean, you get a sport like baseball, you look at the major leagues, you got series, you look at the College World Series, it's more than single elimination, so it's only fitting now in high school to get those players set up to play series and play on the next level. Baseball is a sport where very much so you're not going to see a team consistently pick up sweeps, as you see a rocket launch here for Merritt Island as this game getting set to get underway, and that's something you only see here on the Space Coast.
High school baseball and a rocket.
I always say we're spoiled here on the Space Coast. I just look up in the sky and I tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, look, there's a rocket. Other places that would be like, what's going on? But for here, you know, that's just a nice little backdrop, as you can hear the rumble from the Space Center as we get set to go here on the top of the first inning. Batting first tonight for Belen Jesuit for the Wolverines is going to be number 99. Gross steps into the box, the right-handed batter, first offering of the day, right down the middle, strike 1 for Asher Anderson on the bump tonight for the Merritt Island Mustangs as your starting pitcher. Face off against Andres Gross, the leadoff batter. Sees the 0-1 pitch here, sends that one up the first base line. Pop fly will go foul, diving grab is made for out number 1 of the game. And a great play made out there by Benjamin Hettinger for the out for Merritt Island for out number 1 of the game, making the diving grab in foul territory. And there's out number 1 of the game, puts down the leadoff man Andres Gross. Stepping into the box now is Julian Albert, coming in from the shortstop position tonight. This season, Albert batting 190. First offering for him right down the middle for strike one once again from Anderson. Puts Albert behind 0-1 in the count. 58 at-bats, 11 hits this season, 3 RBIs, no home runs for Albert. Sees the 0-1 pitch here, catches the bottom of the zone as well, and just like that, Albert falls behind 0-2 to Asher Anderson on the bump. Here comes the 0-2 offering. Just misses the zone that time. Count now advances to 1-2. Welcome everybody here to the Brevard Sports Network. 1-2 offering coming from Asher Anderson, and that one will be fouled off right back behind the plate. And all the way back to the ticket booth as the count stays 1-2 for the batter. Standing in is Julian Albert for Belen Jesuit. And Belen Jesuit, the 6th seed, finishing the regular season below 500, but with a very strong strength of schedule. I believe above 18 listed on both Max Preps and the FHSAA. So this team playing a lot of very tough baseball down in the Miami areas. The 1-2 pitch, that one just a little outside, evens up the count at 2-2. Credit to the batter, Albert, good eye so far. He's been able to sit in, and you see a lot of guys swing at pretty much every pitch when they fall behind 0-2, looking to avoid striking out looking. As here's the 2-2 offering in the dirt, and Albert has battled back from down 0-2 to a full count here. One gone, none on here in the top of the first in this one. Full count pitch coming from Asher Anderson. I want to be fouled off right behind home plate again as Albert continues to battle.
Albert doing his best Bee Gees impression.
Staying alive here at the plate. Second man up here in this game for the Wolverines. Our leadoff batter, Andres Gross, popped out into foul territory out in right field for the first out of the game. Here comes another full count pitch from Anderson. That one good contact. Flying out to right center field, but that one will be run down for out number 2 of the game. And again, it's Benjamin Hettinger making 2 outs already over there in right field, and that one he tracks down from his typical spot in right field into right center. 2 outs brings up number 18, Amari Gonzalez, the outfielder for the Wolverines, stepping in. Gonzalez this season batting .289 and 38 at-bats, 11 hits, 11 RBIs, and 1 home run. First offering in this at-bat, another strike going by from Anderson. Puts Gonzalez behind 0-1. The 0-1 pitch from Anderson in the dirt. But swung on by Amari Gonzalez, puts him behind 0-2 for the second consecutive batter. We'll see if Anderson can put him away here to send us to the bottom of 1. Count is 0-2, 2 outs, top of the first inning here. The Mustangs starter, Asher Anderson, puts that one a little low. This one, Gonzalez decides to let go by. Good decision. Keeps him fighting now at 1-2. Base is empty. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, sent down the first base line into right field, and all 3 outs brought on the glove of Benjamin Hettinger out there in right field for the Mustangs, and that'll send us to the bottom of the opening inning here from Clinton Hurdle Field. No hits through the first 3 batters for the Wolverines of Belen Jesuit. That'll bring up the Mustangs to bat. Leading off for Merritt Island tonight will be number 7, Ty Brands. We'll get him started, the freshman. On the bump tonight for Belen Jesuit, number 4, the right-handed pitcher Marcelo Lorente. Lorente this season donning a 3.0 ERA, 1-2 record in 8 appearances. Lorente, 29 strikeouts on 13 walks, giving up 4 home runs. Solid starter in Lorente from Belen Jesuit. I'd like to thank our sponsor tonight, Sherwin-Williams Paints of Merritt Island, located at 1029 North Courtenay Parkway in Merritt Island. You can call them at 321-453-4784. One of the biggest names in paints, Sherwin-Williams. Go check out your local Sherwin-Williams for all your paint needs.
Whether you're trying to paint the story of a game or just do a little touch up on that closet, Sherwin-Williams is your go-to for all your painting needs.
No doubt about it. Leadoff man for Merritt Island, as I mentioned, the freshman, number 7, Ty Brands, batting from shortstop. Brands had a nice freshman season for the Mustangs season, batting .354 with 29 hits and 12 RBIs on the season. And I will say the Mustangs, when you look at this lineup, very solid batters. I mean, you got Liam, you have 6 players batting over 300 with 40 or more at bats as well. So you got some very consistent batters find their way on base. As I mentioned, Brands batting .333 in 90 at bats. He's got 30 hits, 12 RBIs as well, and 33 runs for Ty Brands, the leadoff man for the Mustangs. As we'll see what Merritt Island has coming off of a 2-game sweep of Suncoast Academy in the first round. And the Mustangs, in the 2 seed in Region 4, looking to advance to the regional finals. The winner of this series, best 2 out of 3 games. Now, again, looking at the new FHSAA series that they've implemented for the baseball playoffs. Again, best 2 out of 3. The first 2 games will be hosted by the higher seed. If they need a game 3, the Mustangs will have to travel down to Miami if Belen Jesuit can take at least 1 from Merritt Island on the road. Now Marcelo Lorente eyes down Ty Brands. Left-handed batter. That pitch high and inside makes it 1-0.
That is an interesting release. He almost turns further back and then brings it. Maybe trying to get a little more torque.
Yeah, very strong wind up. That one low. Count is 2-0. 2-0 count already for Ty Brands, the leadoff batter of the game for the Merritt Island Mustangs. As the pitcher uncorks another one. That one's right down Broadway. Gets the first strike on the board here. Count is 2-1 now for Brands. 2-1 offering from Lorente, sent down the third base line, will drop foul for Brands. And just like that, count is even at 2-2. Decent contact there from Brands, just couldn't keep it in fair play. Lorente corks up, fires the 2-2 pitch. That one chopped up into play. Lorente will turn to first and deliver a 1-3 ground out for the first out of the game as they put down Ty Brands, the leadoff man, with the ground out. Now stepping in for Merritt Island is Grant Arnold. Arnold comes in batting .329 with 26 hits in 79 at bats. He's got 17 RBIs and a home run to his name as well this season, the freshman, Grant Arnold. Batting out of left field. That's one thing to note, the 2-seeded Mustangs have 2 freshmen leading off their batting lineup, as that pitch inside makes it 1-0 for Arnold at the plate. 1-0 offering from Lorente, brings some heat on that one. Fastball down the middle, catches the zone. Count is now 1-1 for Arnold. On deck for Merritt Island is Liam Miller, player of the series from the Suncoast series in the first round for the Mustangs. 1-1 pitch for Arnold is in the dirt from Marcelo Lorente, makes it 2-1 for Grant Arnold. Lorente, the senior, Arnold, the freshman, at the plate. 2-1 is the count. And the Pitch that time catches the zone. And once again, the count is even, 2-2. Arnold checks in with the umpire, steps back into the box for the 2-2 pitch. Count is even, offering that time, fouled off.
Hey!
Right back at us. Nice snag there by Jace Brands out of the dugout. Count stays 2-2. Almost thought I had to make a play there, kid, to save us here. That ball coming right at the camera.
Hope someone had their 3D glasses on.
And if that needs any more confirmation, that is out of play. 2-2 pitch in the dirt. Did he go?
I think they're going to say he got something on it.
They say you got a tip on it, so there will not be a strikeout for Arnold. Keeps the count at 2-2. Luckily, he made some contact there. That ball coming in low of the zone. Count still 2-2 for Grant Arnold. Battling back at the plate here. Staying alive. 2-2 pitch, fouled off again, right back behind home plate. As the battle continues between Marcelo Lorente and Grant Arnold. One already gone for Merritt Island, none on here in the bottom of the first inning. After the leadoff man went down to a ground out. 2-2 pitch.
That hit him.
That did hit Arnold, and he'll take his first base there. And that'll bring up Liam Miller. Again, the player of the series against Suncoast Academy. He's batting a very respectable .409 with 38 hits, 30 RBIs, and 7 doubles this season. As Miller steps in now with a runner on first and 1 out. Miller, the sophomore, batting from catcher position for Merritt Island. As Arnold on first offering for Miller, right down the middle for strike 1. As Liam Miller sees 0-1 on the scoreboard. The offering this time for Lorente is low, just off the plate. Count is now 1-1 for Lorente. Lorente sneaks a peek at first base, keeping Arnold accountable. Arnold takes off, trying to go for the pitch out. It's dropped at second, and Arnold will get a stolen base there. It looked like the attempted pitch out there by Lorente, but the catcher makes a throw over, but it's dropped at second. Ball ends up rolling out to the center fielder and allows Grant Arnold to pick up the stolen base. Count 2-1 now for Liam Miller. Now the count in his favor, 2-1. Pitch for Lorente, sent into play by Miller. That one will be a fly out to center. Will advance Arnold.
Nope, that's
No, he
that's
didn't.
a double play.
Yeah, that is a double play. I was going to say he doesn't look back to second, and that is a double play there for Belen Jesuit to end inning number 1. As we'll head to the second, 0-0. Neither team notches a hit through the first inning. And that one will go down as a 8-4 double play for Belen Jesuit, and that'll send us into inning number 2 after the fly out.
And while we take a break, they take a break, we'll get set for inning number 2 right here on the Brevard Sports Network.
Welcome you back here to the Brevard Sports Network here from Merritt Island. Inning number 2 getting set to get started, and stepping in for Belen Jesuit is Orlando Montiel, the junior for the Wolverines. After the Wolverines had a hitless opening inning, Asher Anderson, the starter tonight for Merritt Island. First offering there, sent up into left field, and that one will be run down for out number 1 of the inning by Grant Arnold out in left field, as that sends Montiel back to the dugout. And it'll bring up David Garrido, the senior, number 6, stepping into the box now for Belen Jesuit after just one pitch, puts away Orlando Montiel. As Garrido comes in batting .273, 21 hits on 77 at-bats with 8 RBIs and a home run for himself. First offering from Anderson right down the middle for strike number 1. Puts Garrido behind 0-1. 0-1 pitch from Anderson, sent up into play again out into the outfield. And that one run down for the 4th time already by Benjamin Henninger for out number 2. And so far the Wolverines have been able to get pretty much every at-bat into the outfield. It's been all flyouts tonight so far, and luckily for Merritt Island, none of them have dropped into play, as that'll bring up number 7, Jose Batista, the sophomore for the Wolverines. That's a baseball name if I've ever heard one.
Well, there was one last week for Suncoast, Boy.
And nice contact there again. Will go onto the outfield, but that's going to be 3 up and 3 down, just like that for Belen Jesuit. And that might have been the quickest top or bottom of any inning I've ever seen as we go right into the bottom of the 2nd. It's still 0-0. That's yet another fly out for Belen Jesuit. And that'll bring the Mustangs back up to the plate after a quick top of the 2nd inning. Last time we saw the Mustangs at the plate, it was a double play that ended the 1st inning for him. Had Arnold on 2nd after a hit by pitch and then a stolen base got him to that point. Leading off the 2nd inning for Merritt Island will be number 1, Jace Brands. Brands this season batting .372 with 32 hits and 86 at-bats, 22 RBIs, 4 doubles, 2 triples on the season for the senior, Jace Brands.
It's again, you get into this regional semifinal tournament, kind of everything starts to tighten up a little bit. What Alan and I were talking about is we like the best 2 out of 3. Now I can't speak to see if Alan's gotten any new information that would prove him otherwise, but I know I was under the agreement that I don't think the 3rd game should be played at the other.
I was thinking that as well.
I mean, I'm sitting here thinking you make it all that much more important to get in that top seed, to be a top higher seed by making all 3 kind of like what's the wild card series, where the opposing team, the lower seed, does not get a home game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Or I mean, this would be tougher for travel, but even then, if you want to have both sites, I would say higher seed for game 1, lower seed game 2, and if you need a game 3, then you go back to the higher seed.
But then that expands the playoffs too long at that point, because you got to remember the FHSA has also got other sports to work. So it again, I like the series format.
Definitely incentivizes the sweep, as the first offering here for Jace Brands goes up into left field, and that'll be a quick line out over there to the left fielder for Belen Jesuit, Amari Gonzalez. 1 pitch, 1 out, as that'll bring up number 14, Braden Rouleau for Merritt Island. Rouleau batting .391 this season, 34 hits on 87 at-bats, 27 RBIs, and 6 doubles for the senior batter. First offering of the at-bat is in the dirt for Braden Rouleau, as he takes the lead in the count, 1-0. off of Marcelo Lorente, the starting pitcher, the ace tonight for Belen Jesuit. And the 1-0 pitch there, swung on and fouled off. Count 1-1 now for Rouleau at the plate. Already one gone, none on here in the bottom of the second. Neither team has notched a hit yet at the plate. 1-1 pitch there in the dirt, swung on and missed for Rouleau as he'll fall behind now. 1-2 in the count.
The windup of his still fascinates me. It's something I haven't seen.
Definitely adds a lot of torque. That one swung on and fouled off there for Rouleau. Stays alive at 1-2 in the count.
Looks like he's almost trying to do more of the pitching through his legs rather than, coming over the top with it. Like, because he torques back like he's rubber banding himself and then trying to use that momentum.
You see differing amounts of torque for different types of pitches as that one will pop up just over third base, but nice play by the shortstop to run that one down in the field there. Looks like number 8, Danny Lopez, making the play there for the pop out into shallow left. Brings up the pitcher, Asher Anderson, to the plate. Anderson this season batting .254. 16 hits on 63 at-bats, 25 RBIs, 5 doubles, and a home run this season for Anderson. The senior batting from the pitcher position. First offering for Anderson in the dirt. Check swing. And they're going to say he went. First base umpire makes the call. Count is 0-1.
Jackson, if that call would have been any later, we'd be talking about game 2.
I don't think he went, but
hey,
it's not my job to determine. Count 0-1. That one in the dirt. Anderson doesn't think about it. Count 1-1. Winner of this game will face the winner of the series between American Heritage and Key West. Count 1-1 in the dirt. Rolls past the catcher. Count 2-1 for Anderson, and if it weren't for a strike on a check swing, he could be ahead 3-0 right now. All 3 pitches have been low. If you're Lorente, don't want to give Anderson a 3-1 count here. It's a 2-1 pitch. Skips by Anderson on a swing and a miss. Count is 2-2. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Number 22 at the plate. I could do this all night. And the 2-2 pitch. In the dirt again. Makes the count full now for Asher Anderson at the plate. On deck for Merritt Island is Connor Hurd. 265 batter. Hurd from 7th in the order. Full count pitch coming here from Marcelo Lorente. On the way, sent into play by Anderson, and that one will skip out into left field on a grounder and notch the first hit of the game for the Mustangs. It's a single for Asher Anderson. Off the full count pitch, that'll bring up the senior Connor Hurd. Hurd this season batting .265 with 9 hits and 34 at-bats, 8 RBIs and a double to his name this season, as he stands in now with 2 outs and a runner on first for the Mustangs. Batting 7th in the order tonight is Connor Hurd. First pitch there, low. He said 1-0 the count for Connor Hurd. It's been the one tendency I've seen tonight for Lorente as a pitcher. If he's missing the zone, it's going low so far. That one less of a windup for him, and a swing and a miss for Hurd makes the count 1-1. And you've talked about the windup tonight that Lorente has, and I've kind of been able to see it change throughout the night depending on what pitch, what speed, and kind of shows more control when he winds it up a little less. The no windup really this time goes high, looking for a pitch out type play. And that'll keep Anderson on first, count 2-1. Mustangs have already taken a bag tonight. Grant Arnold. Count is 2-1 this time for Connor Hurd at the plate for the Mustangs. As a 2-1 pitch comes in high, and it's going to be a hitter's count now. For Hurd, it's 3-1. On deck for Merritt Island is Benjamin Hettinger. The 3-1 pitch catches the zone. Hurd lets it go. Count is full with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Big pitch early on in this one. Here for Marcelo Lorente. To Connor Hurd, count full. And it's going to be a strikeout, swinging to send us on to inning number 3 as Hurd goes down swinging. That's the first strikeout of the game for Marcelo Lorente. And that'll send us on to inning number 3, still 0-0 here between Merritt Island and Belen Jesuit in game 1 of the 4A Region 4 semifinals here between the 2-seeded Mustangs and the 6-seeded Wolverines. Once again, I'd like to thank Sherwin-Williams of Merritt Island, your one-stop shop for all things painting. Go check out Sherwin-Williams, located at 1029 North Courtenay Parkway in Merritt Island. You can call them at 321-453-4784. Again, or stop in at their location in Merritt Island.
And we will be right back. And 1.
Welcome back here to Clint Hurdle Field here at Merritt Island High School for inning number 3 here in game 1 between the Merritt Island Mustangs and the Belen Jesuit Wolverines. Is stepping in now for Belen Jesuit is number 5, David Del Pino, the senior. First offering for him comes in, catches the zone as Del Pino takes strike 1. Offering from Asher Anderson. David Del Pino this season batting .207 at the plate. That one makes some nice contact, but it stays foul. Count now 0-2. Del Pino falls behind, again batting .207. 12 hits and 58 at-bats, 11 RBIs, 2 doubles, and a home run for Del Pino this season. The 0-2 pitch from Anderson, catches the zone, and that's a backwards K for David Del Pino, and the first strikeout of the night for Asher Anderson. And puts out number 1 on the board here in inning number 3.
As Alan likes to say, caught him window shopping.
Yes, he did. Stepping in now for Belen Jesuit, number 8, Danny Lopez, batting .288 this season. 21 hits on 73 at-bats. First offering for him, just low of the zone, count 1-0 here for Danny Lopez, the senior infielder. 16 RBIs, 2 home runs this season. Jesuit got some power hitters, 1-0 count here for Lopez. Swings and made a little contact there. Either way he swung, so count is 1-1 here in the top of the 3rd. And the 1-1 pitch there, fouled off for Danny Lopez. Puts him behind in the count now, 1-2.
Just a little late getting the bat just underneath the ball.
1-2 pitch now from Anderson in the dirt. Lopez keeps the bat on his shoulder. Count now 2-2 for Danny Lopez.
I like the decision of trying to go with get the waste pitch there.
Yeah, trying to get him to reach for it there. Keeps it in the basement. Count 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch that time goes up top. Lopez leaves it upstairs, and the count is full, 3-2. And the full count pitch from Anderson. Ball sent up. That's going to be an infield pop. Anderson will walk up under it and pick up out number 2. As that'll put Lopez down. It will pop out back to Anderson and bring up the last man in the order. Batting 9th, that is going to be number 17, Peter Lopez, the junior outfielder. Lopez this season batting .152 with 7 hits on 62 at-bats with 5 RBIs, a triple, and a home run.
Sounds like he's got some power.
And that is, I think, these teams very different hitters, just judging by stats, as that one's going to be popped right back to Anderson again. Everyone running in. Anderson makes the play, and we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Still no hits for Belen Jesuit. Back-to-back pop-outs. Asher Anderson sends us to the bottom of 3 here from Merritt Island. Anderson pitching a solid game so far. As Jesuit will once again take the field. Mustangs will head back to the plate, and the leadoff batter this inning for Merritt Island is set to be number 44, Benjamin Hettinger. After a strikeout of Connor Hurd ended the last inning. First 3 up is Benjamin Hettinger, Shane Patrick, and then back to the top of the order with Ty Brands.
All right, and we'll be right back.
As we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning here between Merritt Island and Belen Jesuit, game 1 of this regional semifinal matchup. Benjamin Hettinger steps in for the Mustangs. Hettinger batting .278 on the season. First offering for him, sent down the 3rd baseline, foul. Puts the first strike up on the board. Hettinger has 5 hits in 18 at-bats, 4 RBIs, and a double for Hettinger this season, the junior. Batting 8th in the lineup. The 0-1 pitch made contact again there. Nice play made behind the back for the 1-3 ground out there from Marcelo Lorente for out number 2 of the inning. And that will bring up cleanup batter 9th in the order, Shane Patrick, the senior. Pitcher playing first base tonight for Merritt Island, batting 111 with 3 hits in 27 at-bats. 3 RBIs as well for Patrick this season for the senior. Patrick hitting out of first base tonight. One of their best pitchers as well on the bump. That one misses the zone outside. Count 1-0 for Shane Patrick. And the 1-0 offering now in the dirt for Patrick makes it 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch now for Shane Patrick. Finds his way across the plate. Count 2-1 now. Again on deck as their leadoff batter, Ty Brands. Already 1 gone, none on here in the bottom of the 3rd. Patrick just chops that one up just over first base, and the first baseman makes the play himself. That's Orlando Montiel for Belen Jesuit. And that brings us back to the top of the lineup to Ty Brands with 2 outs and none on. Grounded out in his first plate appearance back in the first inning. 0 for 1 on the night. Now with 2 outs, none on, Brand steps in, first offering, sent down to third base line, and it's a first pitch line out, right out to David Garrido at third base to make the play, and we're heading to inning number 4. Game still 0-0 here between Merritt Island and Belen Jesuit in game 1 here of the regional semifinals. Again, the winner of this game will face the winner of the series between American Heritage Plantation and Key West. Say Brevard County got to know Key West pretty well. See if they can find their way past American Heritage and make a few more trips up here to the Countdown County. I'm sure that wouldn't ruffle any feathers. It's this one going very much like Belen Jesuit's Game 3 win last week to get here over O'Galley. That one went 0-0 all the way to the 10th inning, where they had the walk-off run there to advance to this game. And I believe there were 2 extra inning games between O'Galley and Belen Jesuit. So the Wolverines, at least in the playoffs, have been used to going a little bit long. And this one, now neither of these pitchers or defenses really budging. Still 0-0. Still nobody's reached on base at all for Belen Jesuit so far tonight. Merritt Island has gotten on with 1 single and a hit by pitch, but no extra base hits for either team yet. As we head to the top of inning number 4. We'll head back to the top of the order for Belen Jesuit with number 99, Andres Gross. He's 0 for 1 on the night. And his first plate appearance all the way back in the top of the 1st inning. As Gross steps back into the box. As he flew out to right in his opening at bat of the game.
Yeah, first time through the order.
Nobody reaches. That'll be strike 1. Count is 0-1.
One strikeout. Every other one popped out to either to the outfield, whether it be right field, 1 out to left, and 2 to the pitcher.
Yeah, a few pop outs and fly outs. They've gotten contact on the ball. They just haven't had it land, haven't put anything on the ground and forced the Mustangs to make a play necessarily. Count 0-2 here for Andres Gross. Anderson in the dirt, swing and missed. And they'll finish the strikeout there. The throw to first over to Shane Patrick, and that'll be strikeout number 2 of the night for Asher Anderson as he puts down Andres Gross with the strikeout for out number 1 of inning number 4. And that will bring back up to the plate Julian Albert. Fought for a while in that at bat, but ended up flying out over to right field. first 6 batters for Belen Jesuit through the first 2 innings all flew out into the outfield. First 3 all over to right field to Benjamin Hettinger. First pitch here showing bunt. Ball gets by for strike 1, count 0-1. As the Wolverines trying to get a bunt to get on base here. Try and break the hitting slump here through the first 3 innings. Now pulls out of the bunt. That pitch from Anderson skips past the catcher. Count is 1-1. Nobody on base to take advantage of the pitch. One and one now the count for Julian Albert. 1-1 pitch, good contact again out to right field. And for the second straight at bat, it's a fly out to right over to Benjamin Hettinger. Same way that Albert went down in the first inning. 2 down, none on for Belen Jesuit. In steps Amari Gonzalez, 0 for 1 with a fly out in the first inning for Gonzalez.
I think that just might be a magnet out in right field, just pulling all the balls, and Hettinger is like, good Lord.
Again, the Wolverines have made some good contact tonight. They've gotten
Yes.
that ball into the outfield, but just haven't been able to drop. The Mustangs outfielders have been in good position to make the plays that they've needed to make. As the first offering coming up here from Asher Anderson. He uncorks one again. It goes into the outfield, tracking back and making the play as the center fielder that time. In 1 pitch, we'll head to the bottom of 4. Another fly out for Belen Jesuit. And the game is still 0-0. The Wolverines still hitless through 4 innings. As we'll head to the bottom of the 4, the Mustangs coming up. As we'll take a break along with the players here before we head to the bottom of the 4th. It's still 0-0 here in game 1.
One.
Welcome you back here to Clinton Hurdle Field. Bottom of inning number 4 we go. Game still 0-0. Stepping in for Merritt Island is Grant Arnold. He reached on a hit by pitch in his first at bat. Stole second base as well. I got stranded on second in that at bat. And first pitch there low at the zone. Count 1-0 for Arnold. One of 2 batters from Merritt Island to reach on base in their first run through the order. And that one low as well. Dropped by the catcher, and it's 2-0 for Grant Arnold. Count is 2-0 here for Grant Arnold, the freshman for Merritt Island. A 2-0 pitch, that one fouled up over our heads.
And it hit grass.
Good. Right over next to the, say, the BSN mobile.
BSN mobile number 2.
Yeah. Count 2-1 now for Grant Arnold. That pitch in the dirt. Now hitters count for Arnold, 3-1. On deck is Liam Miller, the power hitter, batting over 400 coming into this game. The 3-1 pitch for Arnold in the dirt. And the first walk of the night for the Mustangs is in 2 at-bats. Now Arnold's reached on a hit by pitch and a walk. And that brings up Liam Miller. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out into a double play in the first inning. No outs, runner on first now for Merritt Island. Miller named the BSN Player of the Series in their 2-0 series win over Suncoast Academy. First offering for Miller. Just misses outside. Count 1-0 for Miller.
Lots of baseball this week here on the Brevard Sports Network.
1-0 pitch is low and away. Count now 2-0 for Liam Miller.
Got game 1 tonight here of Merritt Island Jesuit, Belen Jesuit, and we got game 2 tomorrow night. We've also got Vieira.
2-0 pitch there, sent down the first base line. Fair for Miller, going all the way out to right field. As Arnold rounds second, he'll take his way all the way to third base. Runners at the corners, no outs, and we got a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the 4th for Merritt Island. No outs, 2 on now for Merritt Island as Jace Brandis will head to the plate for Merritt Island with a runner on third. Anything in the outfield works for him here. Brands flew out into left field in his first at-bat of the night. Again, anything into the outfield bodes well for the Mustangs as we're going to have a meeting on the mound here for Belen Jesuit. Ahead of Brands at-bat. Here in the bottom of the 4th so far. 2 runners on and no outs for the Mustangs at the plate. Arnold on third. Got on base originally via a walk. And then a single coming up for Liam Miller. Advanced to Arnold from first to third. And now with no outs, Mustangs go ahead run in scoring position here in the bottom of the 4th. Still got a ways to go in this game, but runs so far have been hard to come by. We've only seen, I believe, 1 runner in scoring position at all tonight, and that was Grant Arnold before now when he stole second base and got stranded there. The only other hit the Mustangs had died at first base and got stranded right there. Nobody has reached tonight for Belen Jesuit in any form or fashion. As Jace Brand steps in, no outs, 2 on for Merritt Island with runners at the corners. First offering from Lorente. There's a ball, 1-0. Really don't want to walk a batter here, load the bases with no outs. Got a pinch runner over on first for Merritt Island's Braden Uzzi. Coming in for Liam Miller. And the 1-0 pitch there, chopped over to first. There'll be an unassisted ground out at first, throwing straight home. And he's tagged out for out number 2. And Arnold makes the decision to go, and it's a throw right down the line at first after he kind of stopped halfway. And that's going to be a double play for Belen Jesuit in the field. Advances a runner to second, now 2 outs with a runner on. At second base, stepping in is Braylon Rouleau. Great play over there at first by Orlando Montiel. Makes the unassisted put out at first and then makes the throw right down the line to turn the double play at home plate and keep this one 0-0. First pitch for Rouleau is high, count 1-0. Again, the pinch runner on second, Braden Uzzi. Now the last one on base for Merritt Island.
That's tough.
Yes, it is. And tough decision to make. That one fouled off. Back over the plate, count 1-1. Now 1-1 at the plate for Braden Rouleau. Checks on second, makes a throw down low. Count now 2-1 for Rouleau at the plate. Two 2-1 pitch, low and inside. Now hitters count for Rouleau with 2 outs on deck for Merritt Island as Asher Anderson. UZ is on second now for the Mustangs. And the 3-1 pitch swung on, sent out to center field. And that'll drop down for a fly out to Peter Lopez. And we head to inning number 5 scoreless, still 0-0. Well, now the second runner of the night for Merritt Island stranded in scoring position on second base. As the players take a break, we'll take a break. But before we go, I'd like to remind everybody and thank our sponsor tonight, Sherwin-Williams Paints. As you can find them at 1029 North Courtenay Parkway in Merritt Island, or you can call them at 321-453-4784. Sherwin-Williams covering the earth with all your painting needs. And we'll be back for inning number 5 here from Clint Hurdle Field.
All right, welcome back. A little different voice for you here. Thank you very much to Jackson Robb for filling in for me for the first, 4 innings? Top of the 5th here. And stepping in for Belen Jesuit is number 25, Orlando Montiel. And the first pitch offering from, looks like Asher Anderson, is a strike. Hard ground ball. Anderson gone the whole way? Okay. Anderson with 2 strikeouts tonight. Yeah, Jackson, if you're going to stay, grab that other headset. Swing and a miss by Anderson. Make it 3 strikeouts on the night for Asher. And that'll bring up number 6. David Garrido. Garrido steps in. Garrido tonight, thus far, flied out to the right fielder. That'd make him 0 for 1. Anderson so far has not, well, I'm going to shut up. I'm not going to say a word. Because I'm not being responsible for ruining that. I've done it plenty of times. Most recently, about 2 weeks ago. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. I'm coming from a volleyball game in which I thought I'd get over there, get out. But the second set was one of the best. Let me make sure I say this right. One of the best second set comebacks I've ever seen in the history of covering prep volleyball, youth volleyball. The 1-1 is a hard ground ball to shortstop, and he lets it. That's going to be the first base hit of the game for Belen Jesuit. And I'll tell you what, you go 4 1/3 without giving up a hit without giving up a walk, and you have done a remarkable job. Congratulations to Asher Anderson on a phenomenal effort here tonight. No score between Belen Jesuit and Merritt Island. Asher Anderson takes a peek over. Huh? Satellite did? Or? Oh, Rockledge did. Okay. Rockledge in, let's give you a softball update. Rockledge defeats Merritt Island. Congratulations to the Lady Raiders. That pitch is fouled off and out of play. Jesuit staying tonight? I wonder if Jesuit staying tonight. 2-1. Wow. 2-1 score in that. Anderson, the 1-1, fouled back and out of play, and Anderson now has him in a 1-2 hole. This is Jose Bautista. Bautista, like everybody else tonight, has not reached. Anderson takes a peek, comes to the set, fires. Hey, yes, indeed. That's Bautista goes window shopping. The second strikeout of the inning is the second out of the inning, and to the plate comes Danny Lopez. I'm sorry, David Del Pino. David Del Pino. So Anderson allows an infield hit and then has two strikeouts. Not necessarily in that order. That ball is hit into center field, but easy peasy, lemon squeezy, out number 3. And that'll wrap up the top half of inning number 5 as Belen Jesuit and Merritt Island are locked in a pitcher's duel. All right, welcome back here. Alan Slaughter-Zinski, Jackson Robb. Jackson decided to stick it out, man. He wanted to stay and see how this thing would turn out.
Gotta love postseason baseball.
Yeah, it is fun. He was at the Satellite game, of course. He goes to Satellite. Look at that little turn there. Hey, when you come back in, right, just grab my glasses down there. See them? If you can. If not, I'll get down and pick them up. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Asher Anderson steps in, and an opportunity here to help his own cause, and that is 1-1. On the pitching right now, Marcel Lorente. Little turn there. Reminds me of old Louis Tiant. I know you have no idea who old Louis Tiant is, guys, but Louis Tiant was a pitcher who back in the day used to turn like that and then throw. A lot of torque. Puts a lot of torque on you. Anderson pops it out of play.
Good effort there by the catcher in foul territory. Nearly had it. Just slipped down there under the ball, lost sight of it.
And 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 5th in a very fast-moving baseball game. I couldn't believe it when I pulled in the parking lot and saw what inning this game was in. The pitch, yes, indeed. And Asher Anderson, he may not like it, but he's going to have to sit because that's a strike. And that'll bring up Connor Hurd. That's a good pitch. I love the walk-up music to some of these guys, man. It's just, first of all, you don't even realize half these guys know what half of these songs are. But God bless them. They got cool parents. And that ball is popped up. That's first pitch swing and giving chase to the first baseman. The second baseman is as well. Oh, my, he nearly got there. Jackson, I'll tell you what, all 3 of them were there. Heck of an effort by the first baseman, second baseman, and the right fielder.
Yeah, nobody called it. They were all going over there for it. I think it was the second baseman that ended up diving forward. Good effort at it, but it almost looked like the first baseman was closer for an instant but pulled off of it.
You know, I know me and you do all the other sports well. Have we ever done baseball together before?
I know we've done softball. I don't know about baseball.
Yeah, I don't know about baseball. Well, why not get one more good one in before it's all over, right? Well, oh, yeah, and this 0-1, Judge Jackson. I don't know if you've told everybody, but I will here between innings. So do not take us out. 0-1. That's 1-1. Tell you, Jackson has made, in case you don't know, Jackson has made his decision as to where he will be taking his talents next year. And as you can tell, I'm not thrilled about it, and the least little bit. I'm happy for him. Very sad for Brevard. And it's 2-1. When I say Brevard, I mean Brevard Sports Network and Brevard County. We're going to miss him. Loriento this year 1-2 with a 3.00 ERA. 28 innings pitched coming into this one. And that's inside, and it's 3-1. 28 innings pitched coming into this one. It's about 28 hits, 18 runs, 12 of them earned. He has struck out 29 this year. The one key factor here, he will tee one up. He's allowed 4 home runs this season. The 3-1 on its way to Hurd is 3-2. And the on-deck hitter is Benjamin Hettinger. Hettinger grounded out to the first baseman his last time up. You keep this book. You did a heck of a job, buddy. The only thing that wasn't in it was the names. No, you did a heck of a job. That's even cleaner. I mean, that is, you might have to start keeping it from now on because I can't even read my own writing by the time we get to the 6th inning. Nail biter here at Clint Hurdle Field. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The count. And the pitch. And that's a walk. And so you may get a visit by the pitching coach here just to check on him, make sure he's okay. Or maybe not. He threw a lot of pitches in that at-bat. That's an outstanding at-bat by Hurd. You get this far along in a game, and you want to work that pitch count up, and Hurd certainly did that there. Hettinger steps in. And, yeah, he may even want to come out. If he goes 2-0 here, I think you got to try and settle him down. What's that? Yeah, he did it last inning too?
Yeah, that happened. That happened last inning after a single put runners at the corners, and that ended up turning into a double play and then a stranded runner at second.
Yeah, here comes the third baseman in now. Yeah, a lot of times guys just need a minute to catch their breath. I was talking to a pitcher on another team in this county who has gone through some recent struggles, And a lot of times that's just basically what it boils down to. I mean, you can have tired arm this time of the year, which makes it hard to fill up the zone. But for the most part, it's just a matter of regaining your focus. And the 2-0 on its way to Hettinger is 3-0. And it looks like, because you get down, Shane Patrick's on deck. Let me tell you about Shane Patrick. Don't let his average deceive you. Shane Patrick can plant one across the street. I've seen him hit some. The 3-0 on its way, and that's high, and that's 4 straight balls, Jackson.
Yeah, that was a good job there by Hettinger to leave that one upstairs. And at that point, you've seen the amount of balls that were thrown. At that point, there's really no point even thinking about swinging at the 3-0. And this is going to be a big meeting for Belen Jesuit right now. Again, this game's been 0-0, solidly 0-0 since the start. But now the Mustangs, with only one out, have runners on first and second in position to make a play. You got to make sure your pitcher's, in the right mindset here. You don't want to start looking at the bullpen, but if you have to, you have to.
The other thing, too, to keep in mind is they went all 3 games with O'Galley. So
and 2 of them in extras.
Yeah, 2 of them in extra innings. So they have chewed up a lot of, there's a lot of arms that have been used to get that far. So as the home plate umpire makes his way out to get himself involved, and when I say get involved, I mean end it, as Cake by the Ocean is now on. So we'll save you the copyright strike. We'll just let you know we hear it too. Cake by the Ocean. I had to have a 20-year-old tell me what that meant when the song was released. I cannot pass that along to anybody else. As Shane Patrick steps in. There's my man, Buster. I didn't even see you in the camera the whole shot time over here. Caleb's got you tonight, brother. No camera time for Buster. Shane Patrick steps in. Runners at the corner, nobody out. And that is 6 straight balls he has thrown. Patrick popped out or flied out to the first baseman back in inning number 3. And here's the pitch. Patrick with a hard ground ball and foul. This is exactly how this time of the year should be. These are the types of games you should be seeing. Jackson, I think the thing that this best of 3 does, no offense to Satellite, but I think ultimately in a 2 out of 3 series, the better team is always usually going to prevail.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was saying earlier with baseball, sometimes it can be any given night, but you put it into a series, and that really shows the endurance of a team.
Yeah, I mean, you were here a couple of years ago as the count goes to 2-0 in a regional quarterfinal game that Merritt Island was knocked out of, and it was just a crazy set of circumstances. The lights went out. I mean, it was just nuts, and they never got a chance to rebound from that.
No, it was lights went out, and I think that was the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah,
with the runner on. Yeah, it was 2 outs, runner on, trying to win the game.
Yep. And it's 2-2 now here to Shane Patrick. Top of the order coming up. And I tell you what, with runners in scoring position, no better top of the order in Brevard County than this one this year. The 2-2 on its way. And Patrick lays off the high heat, and the count is full. And now the situation becomes, what does Jason Arnold do with Hettinger at first? Does he move him in motion? Does he start him here, even though there's just 1 out? Patrick with a 3-2 on the way. Big pitch. And it's popped up to the second baseman. Big out here. That's a great pitch. He jammed him, Jackson, and got him to pop out.
Yeah, exactly what they needed there. Keeps the runners at first and second, and puts 2 away here in the bottom of 5. This is, another inning that the Wolverines looking to strand some runners on base for the Mustangs.
Oh, yes. I thought he was at third. First and second. So, yeah, it made no sense to run Hettinger because he could have thrown a guy out of third. Duh, Allen. All right, so we go back to the top of the lineup here as Ty Brandis steps in. Brandis grounded out, and he popped out to the third baseman, and he's going to look at strike 1. And I tell you what, there are 2 ways this thing can go. if Belen Jesuit could get out of this, this is a momentum gainer.
That one fouled off, count 0-2 at the plate.
All right, so I tell you, man, this would be huge for Lorente. How did you pronounce his name, Lorente?
Lorente.
Yeah, Lorente. Here as he steps off and walks around. I'll bet you both of these teams are just glad they don't have to entertain Keene West, and I'm not talking about because they're a good baseball team. I'm talking about because of the environment they would have to go into. That probably Belen Jesuit, because Merritt Island would have hosted them the first two games. The 0-2 on its way. And that's fouled back and out of play.
That's what I was talking about earlier with Caleb. I said if they won that game and had to come back up to Brevard, I think they'd have quite the warm welcome.
Yeah. I would suspect if they have to come back up this way, we would see some red and black from the Scorpions filtering the stands a little bit. The 0-2. He will, and this one is, does that get down? No. Nice job by the right fielder. Boy, the Mustangs threaten, but they do not score. They leave two. All right, Jackson, for those that don't know, you have made your selection. Where are you going to college?
I will be going for the next 4 years to the University of Florida.
Okay, now why was Gainesville, why was UF the place for you, buddy?
Well, spent a lot of time up there in the fall. Fantastic program for sports journalism, sports broadcasting, close-ish enough to home, staying in the state of Florida. And, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Great school, great sports, which for most kids probably isn't in consideration for your college choice. But, yeah, sports definitely doesn't hurt. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next 4 years and hopefully keep doing this.
If I said to you, Jackson, once you get to Gainesville, they're going to say to you, Jackson, pick the 3 sports that you want to cover. Now, obviously, we know football is going to be one of them. I would assume basketball would be one, okay? But Jackson picked 3 sports outside of, and I'll just say it this way, the quote-unquote moneymaker, so to speak, at the NCAA level. What 3 sports?
My one will always be lacrosse,
right,
which nobody else would probably put up there. Baseball and softball at the University of Florida is very good. Definitely watch some baseball and softball and would love to do some games there. Outside of those, you know, I've heard a lot of good things, and this is just getting out of my comfort zone almost, but doing some track and field or swimming and diving. I mean, both of the Olympic-style sports at Florida is really what has set them apart for a while.
Track and field, I think, is something that we've covered here at Brevard Sports Network. You know, we should have gotten you more involved, but the events always start when you're in school, so it's hard to do. But, listen, and I also want to congratulate you because I haven't had a chance yet for making all Space Coast, all Cape Coast Conference on the lacrosse team. That's a really big deal as well, so congratulations on that, buddy.
Thank you much.
All right, we go. I believe this is the top of the 6th inning already, and stepping in is number 8 here, and that's going to be Danny Lopez. I had Danny batting last inning, but that was Del Pino. And the first pitch from Asher Anderson to Mr. Lopez is a strike. I would imagine we'll see Grant Arnold tonight, or is he? That's Liam Miller catching. So with Liam not catching, Miller or Arnold set up the pitch. So 0-1 to Lopez. Make it 0-2. That is a beautiful pitch. Asher Anderson just throwing darts tonight. I love his approach. There really isn't one. He just gets out there and throws the ball. Ooh. My goodness. That thing was moving like minnows in shallow water, but he doesn't get the strike. 1-2. Foul back and out of play. I got a feeling one run's going to win this game. That's just a phenomenal observation, isn't it, in the 6th inning? The 1-2 is in the dirt, and Liam Miller. Is anybody warming up behind me, Caleb? Back with Game 2 tomorrow. Game 3, if necessary, will be at Belen Jesuit. And then Game 1 Wednesday night with Vieira. Popped up and out of play. Oh, well, listen, just because spring sports are over doesn't mean you're not going to see something here every night. We got flag football championship Saturday night, semi-pro football Saturday. We got it all on the Brevard Sports Network. 2-2. And it's 3-2 now. And, listen, Jason Arnold with his, you talk, he's only won. He only won 104 games at Satellite, won 87 games at Eastern Florida State, has taken a team here and won 23 games with them. The guy knows what he's doing, so it'll be interesting to see should Lopez get on, what happens with Asher Anderson. My goodness, that thing was a beaut, Jackson.
Yeah, that it was, and it caught him swinging for the fences on a full count pitch, sneaks right by and puts one out up on the board here in the top of the 6th again here.
Anything that moves that far from right to left should have a blinker on it. Wouldn't you agree?
I would say so. Although they are from South Florida.
That's true. Touche, Jackson. Popped up. Oh, no, that ain't good news.
Nope.
What did it hit?
It hit something that wasn't a car.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it sounded like a windshield to me.
No.
All right. I park right next to Jackson's car, so a little further down. Strike.
When I told Jackson where to park, he goes, "Are you sure?" I said,
Oh, Jackson's already gone up through it at a basketball game one night. That took Brevard Sports Network Detective Agency to get on that case. That's a strikeout. 2 in a row. And back to the top of the order here. Number 99, Andres Gross. And old Aaron Judge's number steps in. Andres Gross. I was watching a little bit of Aaron Judge before I got here on the ride over. Well, let me rephrase that. Listening to, I would never watch baseball and drive at the same time. The pitch to Gross is in the dirt, ball 1. You know what the batting average in Major League Baseball is this year right now? I'll tell you this. 20 years ago, it was 250 for a season. Do you know what it is right now? 230. And there's a base hit. Nope. Brandis, can he make it? What a scoop by Patrick. The throw from Brandis, and that's a beaut, Clark, and it ends the inning. And 3 up, 3 down, on to the bottom of the 6th. All right, welcome back. I know Asher Anderson's done for the night, and what a night it's been for Anderson. He's going to go 6 innings. He allowed 1 hit, struck out 6. Anderson threw 60 pitches, 46 of 60 pitch effort in 6 innings, 46, 4 strikes. And we are back at the top of the lineup with Grant Arnold up. Near the top of the lineup, I should say, because Ty Brandis is the leadoff hitter. So Grant Arnold steps in. Arnold walked twice tonight, so he's officially does not have an at-bat. As far as Lorente is concerned, Lorente has gone 5 innings. He's allowed 2 hits, struck out 2, and walked 3. That's pitch 84 for him. So he's what is he, a junior? What did I see he was? He's a senior, so he can go. He's got it at least this inning. That ball is skied in the air. Now, you can't let your pitcher have it. Third baseman calls and hauls. Nice job by the third baseman there. You never let your pitcher make that catch. Yeah. Liam Miller steps in. Miller tonight, one of the 2 hits Lorente has allowed, and he's flown out to center field as well as he speaks with fellow catcher. Pitch. A little low. Good call by the ump not to call that a strike. A lot of umpires would give you that, but that was not a strike. That was below the knees, and it's 1-0. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat place, 7 o'clock. Pitch. And that is strike 2. Strike 1. Sorry, strike 1. Ball. I'm so used to these guys throwing strikes. Everything they throw is a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And there's a hard ground ball to the second baseman. Scoops it up and over to first. First baseman doubly touches the bag. And that's 2 batters up and 2 batters down. And Jace Brandis steps in. What's that? 3. Pop out. Ground out. Ground out to the first baseman his last time up. And a fly out to the left fielder. Brandis. It was Ty Brandis that was up last inning. I always confuse poor Ty and Jason. Great middle infielders for Merritt Island. Lorente twists, turns, and delivers. Outside, ball 1. Tonight's game is brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Ask Sherwin-Williams. Right here in Merritt Island, they'll have the answers. Sherwin-Williams. That's about all I know to say. It's a paint store. It's a great paint store. The best paint store with the best paints. Yeah, located right at 1079 North Courtney Parkway. Give them a call, 321-453-4784. More importantly, thank you for supporting youth and prep sports in Brevard County by sponsoring this tournament, or this series, I should say. Sherwin-Williams. Ask Sherwin-Williams. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pop, on the roof. I'd hate to see the inside of that roof. 1 and 2, 2 outs. Big pitch here to Jace Brandis. Oh, he lays it out. Second baseman stays down. I tell you, good fundamental defense by both these teams. You see how he stayed down and watched the ball into his glove? It's the second consecutive 4-3, and we are going to the 7th. No score in this gem of a game. Chase Burns, your new Merritt Island pitcher, and what a job by Asher Anderson, and just incredible night for Asher. 6 innings, 1 hit, 6 strikeouts as Burns steps onto the bump, and we'll tell you about Chase here. Chase this season is 4-0 with a 2.25 ERA. Burns 18 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 14 hits, given up 6 earned runs. He's walked 6, and he struck out 24. Teams are batting .203 against him. So Julian Albert will step in and try Chase here on so anything, if Merritt Island can get out of this without giving up a run, if they can score a run, they can win. And I'll tell you what, to have Arnold and Patrick tomorrow is quite, and he tries to bunt his way on. If Merritt Island can win this game and have Shane Patrick and Grant Arnold available tomorrow, they are in a fantastic situation. But they got to win this one first. 0-1. He has flied out twice to right field. The 0-1 is 1-1. And I would imagine Coach Arnold does not, these guys won't, you walk a batter, you may not be out there long if your stuff is not, if you're not on top of your game. And it looks as though Burns is as he goes 1-2 on Albert. Albert, a junior. Got him. And that is a strikeout for Chase Burns, and that's a great way to come in and start things off. And that'll bring up Amari Gonzalez. Gonzalez tonight, he has flied out to center field and flied out to right field. So, big young man stepping up to the plate. Looks like he's got a little power.
As long as the Mustangs can keep up this pitching and defense tonight, I mean, they just got to get a run on the board at this point because they've had Belen Jesuit where they've wanted him at the plate so far.
Belen Jesuit, no stranger, as you noted, Jackson, to extra inning affairs. Twice in 3 games against O'Galley, and they won them both. Won one of them at O'Galley, trailing in that game. It was a 3-run home run and a grand slam home run that they came up with in the 6th and 7th innings last week. In fact, I was doing an interview right here with Liam Miller and had O'Galley winning the game, which is why you never saw the Liam Miller interview. 1-0. 2-0. Gonzalez came in batting .289 this year, 11 RBIs. He's got 11 hits. He's only got 38 official at-bats. Burns 2-0 to him. That's a strike. And 2-1. Yeah, both these benches have been quiet tonight, which is unusual for a game of this magnitude. Chest high, but inside, 3-1. And, I haven't thrown this statistic out a lot this year, and I'm going to hang on to it to see what happens here. So, the 3-1 on its way. Yeah, he went. Yes, sir. 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Big pitch coming here. I won't need it because he struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the top of the 7th. And that'll bring up number 25, Orlando Montiel. And Orlando's where I checked in last time. So Montiel steps up. He has struck out and flied out to the left fielder. Montiel takes that first pitch offering and fouls it out of play. I don't know this for a fact, but I'd be interested to know. I would love to sit in a session with Coach Arnold as he goes through the hitters with his pitchers, because with the experience he has, a lot of this is pitch location. Oh, like that's not a good pitch location there. A square on the buttocks. He hit him on the buttocks, as Forrest Gump would say. And down to first base he goes. And so no harm, no foul if you can get the next guy. As number 6, David Garrido steps in. So Garrido tonight has walked and flied out. Ball 1. Burns takes a peek over. In the dirt, nice stop by Liam Miller. That's a strike. 1-1. Nice pitch. This is Garrido. Runner goes. Liam Miller with a perfect shot. Got him. Indeed. Liam Miller with a dart to end the inning. The pitch was high. Perfect for Miller to throw him out. Jackson, what a play to end the inning.
Yeah, fantastic pitch out right there by Merritt Island. Makes a play, and I was just about to say they brought in a pinch runner. Got to keep an eye on him. He took off. A perfect pitch out there by Miller.
Did he pitch out? I couldn't tell. I thought it was high, but was that a pitch out?
It was close. Might have been high. Might have been high. Either way, good play.
Yeah, no, outstanding play. Good stuff there. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 1 to win it. Braden Rolu, Asher Anderson, and Connor Hurd here. And Jackson, this is tailor-made for Merritt Island. They won the Cape Coast Conference Championship on a walk-off, and they are no strangers to what it takes to get it done. And what I really like about what happens when they get to this part of the game is Jason Arnold is not afraid to pull out the bag of tricks, safety squeezes, things of that nature, to get runners over. The thing that has my mind blown more than anything, is Lorente is back.
Yeah, he's played it through tonight, keeping him into the 7th. Got to watch fatigue.
And this one deep in the left field, back, and nice track to the wall. And that is out number 1 on the first pitch. Asher Anderson. Now here's the thing. A guy like Asher Anderson gets them arms extended, and I say this 1,000 times a year as it pertains to Asher. He's a big young man. When he gets those arms out, if Lorente leaves anything out over the plate and Anderson can get them arms extended, there's not a park in this state that will hold the baseball. So we'll see here. Big at-bat for number 22. And that is outside, ball 1. 1-0. And that's a fantastic job there by Asher. Generally an aggressive early in-count hitter. The 1-0. And that ball is fouled. One and one. Connor Hurd is on deck. Anderson with a chopper foul, and the count is 1-2. Man, you have got to give it to Lorente. Gutsy performance by that young man tonight. That's on this side. That's easy for me. No, I'm good. I'll get it. I can't go through that again watching you do that. I felt bad. 1-2, Lorente. And yeah, that's just a beautiful pitch. That thing dropped off the table like a young kid pulling his plate off, and it's 2 outs. Man, that ball had movement on it. Did you see that thing? As Connor Hurd steps in. Hurd is struck out and walked tonight. Are we going to go to extra innings here? How's the battery? All right, we're good. Fouled off. And Buster Beal makes another spectacular foul ball play. And it's 0-1. And this ball is lifted. Will it get in the gap? Yes, indeed. And around first base and on his way to second is Connor Hurd. Here's the throw. He's safe. Hurd just gets under the tag, Jackson. That is a heck of a play in the outfield, but a clutch hit by Hurd.
Yeah, great throw, but Hurd, that's a straight base running, finds its way under the outstretched glove, and that puts the winning run in scoring position here, and big chance here for Merritt Island to avoid extra innings.
Yeah, no doubt. So this is the opportunity as Benjamin Henninger steps in. Can Henninger win it?
Or gonna have a mound visit here before.
There is no getting the runner to third here with 2 outs, unless you can get the first. The only thing that's on the table here is a 2-out base hit. And you just saw the throw from the left fielder, right? Or the center fielder. So you know one of those 2 out there have a cannon of epic proportions, because he nearly gunned Hurd on a ball that should have been an easy double. So there's a lot at play here, and I think that's what Jason Arnold just told Connor Hurd. Watch me. Watch me. Henninger walked, and a great at-bat his last time up. Ball one. The other thing Merritt Island could hope for here is a pass ball or ball in the dirt, which would move the runner over. Lorente takes a peek back at Hurd. The pitch to Hedinger, and that's a good-looking pitch. And the count is a ball and a strike here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. A run wins it, and out sends us to extras. The pitch popped up, and the right fielder calls. Oh, my goodness. 2 hands, young man, but he calls it in for the 3rd and final out. The Mustangs threaten, but they do not score. Guess what, folks? It's extra innings. Back with the 8th in a moment. David Garrido comes back in as he was at the plate when the runner was out trying to steal second base. And so here we go to the top of the 8th. I want to welcome all of you watching. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching from down in the Miami area, thank you for logging on here to Brevard Sports Network. Fresh count. First pitch, low for a ball, 1-0. Chase Burns took over for Asher Anderson, who went 6 strong, allowing a hit and striking out 6. The 1-0 on its way to Garrido is in the dirt, 2-0.
Garrido was the man that got the only hit tonight off of Anderson.
Scheduled to bat this inning is David Del Pino. He hit the big 2-run home run last week in the top of the 7th inning or 6th inning at O'Galley. And that's a strike, 2-1. Del Pino hit a fly ball that tied that thing up at 3. And then, of course, the grand slam by Gonzalez in the 7th. The pitch, swing and a miss, and he has rebounded quite nicely. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Umpire says, let's go. Big pitch coming. Nice pitch, good. Good at-bat here by Garrido to foul that off and fight for another opportunity at a strike here, or another pitch, I should say. You don't see that often in high school baseball where the pitcher does not like the texture or feel of the ball. But Burns didn't. He's got a new one now. And it's 2-2. Garrido and Burns. The 2-2 is fouled off again. And Garrido will not go quietly here.
Yeah, he's putting up a fight here, not going to give up anything without a swing at it at least.
No. That's the last thing managers want to see is you sitting down with the bat on your shoulders. Oh, the curveball is an absolute thing of beauty. Straight filth, 1 out. That thing was beautiful.
And you know he's going to keep swinging at the strikes and get one on a breaking ball like that, get him to swing and miss. That's exactly what they needed to do. Great pitch there by Burns. Gets rid of him there.
It's a gutsy pitch too, because it's not a pitch that would have been a strike. So he had to chase. But Batista steps in upstairs, ball 1. Burns has got to do a little. Well, he's a relief pitcher, but you want those first pitch strikes. Burns, he's come back and battled in counts to eventually get the strikeouts, but you like to start from ahead, and he'll even it up here at 1-1. Batista this year was a .225 hitter, 16 hits and 7 RBIs for Belen Jesuit. 1 ball and 1 strike pitch is 1-2. That one is right down I-95. And he's ahead. Upstairs, 2-2. So we've got a deuces wild situation here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, there's only 1 out, so no, it's not a deuces wild situation. Thought it was 2 outs. I'm trying to get ahead of myself here. But we got a chance at 2 outs. 1, 2-2. That was an off-speed pitch. It broke just a little bit, but not enough. 2-2. The count remains. And that ball is lined straight back through the middle. Good piece of hitting there by Batista.
Now batting number 5, David Del Pino.
As Del Pino steps in. This is the guy you can't make the mistake to. I believe it was Carson Leitz that had him down the strike before he hit the home run. Pretty much the same identical situation, Jackson, a man on. Score's not the same, but the curveball there is strike 1, so.
Yeah, if you're Jesuit here, got to build some momentum. Haven't had a runner in scoring position all night long.
Question is do you try and test the arm of Liam Miller again? Do you try to get this guy in? Runs obviously have not been scored in this game. Or do you want this guy in scoring position so bad you're willing to risk having him thrown out here?
Burns just checked in on him.
And that ball is launched into center field, but right at the center fielder, and that's a good out to get right there to get Del Pino to fly out and bring up 2 outs. Is good pitching, and that'll bring up Danny Lopez. That's the fans. That big whoosh you heard was the fans letting out a collective sigh of relief there from the Merritt Island side. Drove up from Miami. You've been here and done it before and been very, very good at it. There's a strike. I think it was Belen Jesuit a couple of years ago that beat O'Galley for the state championship in baseball. There's a pitch. Foul back and out of play. And now Burns is a strike away from getting his team back up to the plate with an opportunity to walk it off. Lopez in an 0-2 hole. Burns eyes the sign from Miller. He's got it. He steps off. I think you got 2 strikes on this guy. I don't even think you take a look over it first. I think you just try and go get this batter here. I'm not even sure you try to waste one. I think you just go right at him. He does, and that ball is lifted down the right field line, giving chase out there, but coming up short. And the count will stay 0-2. And that's exactly what he did. He went right after him. Because I think what you risk here is if you try to get cute and waste a pitch here, you can also risk throwing one to the backstop, doing that, and that would put the runner in scoring position, and all of a sudden everything changes. Burns. Oh, the curveball. It's a tough play, deep from the hole. The throw won't get him. Safe, and it's first and second on an infield single. And good hustle down the line by Lopez. And now you got runners at first and second with 2 outs.
Have a mound visit after that, and I think that's the best way that ball could have gone to short. If that one goes directly to him or a little bit quicker, that where you start looking at a double play territory. But the way that ball fell, stayed out of his reach initially and forced the hard throw back to first, it allows both of them to advance.
So here we go. Coach is just telling, and I think with Jason Arnold, this is just. I think this is just a hey, look, guys, this is the first trouble we've really been in this game. Okay, so let's make sure we know where we're going with the baseball. All right, if this ball is hit, let's make sure everybody is in their proper cutoff positions, and let's make sure we got this down. And I think, because obviously this is nothing to do with Burns. He threw a great pitch there, and that ball was just spotted perfectly in the hole. Tough play back across the diamond for Brandis. I don't think there's a shortstop that can make that play or that throw. And now Chase gets the number 9 hitter here in Peter Lopez, who has struck out and popped out to the pitcher back in the 3rd inning. And that ball is hit deep back, and it is gone. And that is a 3-run home run, and Belen Jesuit takes the lead 3-0 on a first pitch home run by Peter Lopez. And the Belen Jesuit Wolverines have done it again, Jackson. They have done it again in extra innings with the long ball.
Yeah, that was best time, best place for it to happen. I think this is the first time all night for 2 things. They've had a runner in scoring position and 2 runners on base to begin with. And time and place, bottom of the order, batting 9th. He comes up and absolutely delivers one there. And again, Merritt held him scoreless all the way here into extra innings. They held him hitless through 4 1/3 innings. But all it takes is 1, and now they're up by 3.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's a huge blow for the Mustangs, because 1 run's been hard to come by, much less 3. And that's just he was just sitting dead fastball, and that's exactly what he got on the first pitch. And the young man did not waste it. And this is Andres Gross, and Gross drops one into left field for a base hit. And that's 3 hits this inning. Tell you how improbable. Want me to tell you how improbable these extra inning home runs have been and these hits have been for Belen Jesuit? So Lopez is a junior. He came into this game batting .152. He had 1 home run all year and 7 hits. That was his 8th hit of the season. And, that's baseball, man. That is the heartbreak and the joy of the game right there. What they used to say on ABC Sports, Jim McKay? That's the the agony and defeat, or I can't remember exactly. I should. I used to watch it all the time as a kid. You okay there? All right. One and one now to the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. There it is. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. That's a tough one. If you're Merritt Island, if you're Belen Jesuit, you're starting to think about things like, well, as a 6 seed, we're doing some pretty special things here.
Got a substitution here for Merritt Island.
Yeah, we're going to get this is going to be a defensive substitution. Is Jacob Aker is going to come in. All right, Chase Burns here. Pitch. There's a ground ball. Nice play by Brandis, who will flip to Brandis. And that's the third and final out. But here's, folks, the Mustangs got their backs against the wall here as we go into the bottom of the 8th inning. Belen Jesuit gets 3 runs on 3 hits. The big blow. How about the home run from Peter Lopez? I call it a weaver. A 3-run shot's a weaver, an Earl Weaver. So Lopez with the weaver, and the Mustangs need 4 to win, 3 to tie. Here's the beauty. If you're Merritt Island, it's game 1. Okay, so you'd like to win both games at home. You don't want to go to Miami Saturday, but if you have to, you have to. And we will get a new pitcher, and that pitcher looks like it's going to be the closer, Yadiel Estrada, JDL Estrada, and Estrada this season is 0-1 this year. Estrada is 15 2/3 innings. Here's the thing about Estrada. He has, what's his ERA? Where's his ERA? Why can't I see his ERA? There it is. Estrada's got a 5.81 ERA. So he gives up some runs. All right, 15 2/3 innings pitched, 18 hits, 14 runs, 13 of them earned. He's walked 14. He struck out 20. He's allowed 2 home runs. So the thing Merritt Island needs is they need base runners. And Shane Patrick will lead it off here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A 3-spot in the top half of the 8th inning. And Jadiel Estrada, his job to close it.
The key is if Shane can get on here as well, that brings you right back to the top of the order, which, as you mentioned earlier, has been the best in baseball this season in Brevard County.
So Estrada's first pitch offering to tomorrow night's starter is upstairs, ball 1. Let me tell you something, man. As a 17, 18-year-old student athlete, to be given the ball in this situation, it's tough. And that's a good job by the catcher right there, because that's ball 2, and the catcher frames it perfectly, and the umpire buys it 1-1. Upstairs, 2-1. Pitch, 3-1, and a good job by Shane Patrick to just make him. I'd make him throw me another strike here. And now he's ready.
Tell you what, Estrada on the bump doesn't take a long time between pitches.
No, he moves, don't he?
Yeah, he does.
Good for this young man. Curveball is going to catch Shane looking upstairs. The umpires in the stands don't like the call, and the call behind me, the young guy behind me says, you haven't called it all day, but he's called it twice since I've been here. So that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th, and Ty Brandis will step in. And back to the top of the lineup. The beauty of this is they did all of that damage with 2 outs. So, so Merritt Island, these guys got it. They if they're going to do it, they can do it. But again, Belen Jesuit, if you're a Belen Jesuit fan, this is how you've got to this point. So they are built for this. 13-14 this year. It's incredible the run they're on right now. Big time kudos to Belen Jesuit.
Yeah, I think the moral of the story for Merritt Island, first and foremost, going into games, 2 and even 3, if we get there, is don't let them get to this point. Don't let them get to extras.
Yeah, you can't. You got to try to do whatever you can not to get to this point, because it is definitely advantage Wolverines anytime the game is tight after the 6th. 1-2. And that is a beautiful pitch for strikeout. And I said earlier that that thing was moving like minnows in a shallow pond, and so was that. And the Mustangs are down to their final out in Grand Arnold. You could just feel it, having sat right here last week doing an interview proclaiming O'Galley victorious, and then getting in the car and seeing what happened, and then seeing it again. They aren't going to quit. They didn't quit. They made the drive today, and in the top of the 8th, a home run by Peter Lopez has Belen Jesuit up 3-0. The number 9 hitter, batting 152 this year, gets the job done. And there it is, Belen Jesuit. The final out is there. And Belen Jesuit takes game 1, 3-0. Jackson, your final thoughts?
Yeah, this one not ending how I expected. The Mustangs had them down and out for a while there, but at the end of the day, get to extras, and that's where Belen Jesuit has thrived throughout the postseason, and they continue their hot streak. I think that's 5 or 6 in a row for them after stumbling out of the regular season. Now they're on fire. And
well, they did lose game 1 to O'Galley 8-3, so they lost game 1.
3 in a row.
Yeah, 3 in a row. And, listen, they lost that district championship 1-0 to Key West. But I got to tell you, I saw Key West play the other night, and I saw Belen Jesuit play. And if it comes down to those two, and I don't think it will, I think Merritt Island's going to rebound. There's 4 good teams in this region. Merritt Island, Belen Jesuit, Key West, and obviously American Heritage. So this is a stacked region, and we'll be back here tomorrow night for Game 2. Jackson, you're always welcome. I know you're a busy man, but we'd love to have you if you want to come tomorrow night. Join me on the broadcast. But, tough one tonight. Belen Jesuit does what Belen Jesuit does, especially late in games. They win it 3-0. We want to thank Sherwin-Williams, who's sponsoring the entire series here. Tomorrow night's it for us in terms of a broadcast. But we'll be back tomorrow night, pregame at 6:50 and first pitch at 7 o'clock. For Jackson Robb, for Caleb Brown, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports